I've been off of this channel for a while. I know I kind of took a big break, but nonetheless, we are here. I'm gonna just get straight into it. Christians should be very careful on the entertainment. And when I mean the entertainment, you know, I feel like I shouldn't have to take a deep dive into the movies and a deep dive into, you know, the mainstream media, because I feel like most Christians should understand what's moving in the mainstream media. Y'all should know who's in it, who's running it. Y'all should know who's running the show. Don't put your ticket to sit there and watch. Always let yourself be guided by God. Use your discernment. The Holy Spirit lives in you as a Christian, so you got to understand you need to use him because he's there. He's there to help you. Because at the end of the day, media is for two things, basically, or entertainment. It's to entertain you, or it's to put a message behind the entertainment. And so nowadays, there's a lot of messages that are being put in the media and as well as in entertainment. There's a lot of things that they're trying to put in. Some of them more controversial than others, but as Christians, we all know who's putting them there, why it's being put there, and who the target audience is. At the end of the day, I'm just asking you guys to go ahead and use your discernment. We need it now more than ever, because the devil always tries to attack people, deceive them, and to rob. So let's go ahead and be wise on that. Another thing I want to say is YouTube. I'm realizing in YouTube, a lot of people, there's no really easy way for me to say this, but let me just go ahead and say it. You need to be careful what you watch on YouTube. I know there's a big difference between mainstream media and YouTube and social media, but I just want to say that not the mainstream media, but what's below it can be very dangerous. Like YouTube, like Instagram, Twitter, or X, now that it's X, and all those different platforms. In these social media apps, you shouldn't have any of these mainstream media apps unless you are following other Christian creators, Christian content people, or you're following a fellow evangelist, prophet, whatever, and to really just stick to Christian-based things. I'm obviously targeting Christian people, so if you're not Christian and you have a mindset that you don't want to accept any type of things that may be contrary to your beliefs, then this video is not for you. In the algorithms of these certain apps, what I'm noticing is really trendy is not only this secular, or I call it worldly music. There's a lot of inappropriate jokes, adult humor, and a lot of dirtiness, a lot of impurity in the social media. And I'm noticing that it's also targeting kids, teenagers. A lot of what they're watching it's not going to benefit them in the future. And I understand this because the Lord has had to work with me. It doesn't matter what kind of entertainment we want. That's just, you know, that need and that craving. It's not that we're craving entertainment. It's that we're craving, as Christians, I should say, a relationship with God. It's craving a communication, a covenant, a communion with the Holy Spirit. And what I'm understanding is that when you're not a spiritual person and you don't pray as often and you struggle to maintain that connection with the Holy Spirit, what is the devil going to put in you? Go ahead and watch a movie, because then it'll help you connect to that and receive a message from what that's portraying, which is wrong, which you really should be trying to pray and receive a message from the Holy Spirit. A lot of these things that content creators are doing, man, there's a lot of certain groups, trendy content creators, and you just watch their videos and you're realizing they may talk about God here once, one and there, but everybody believes in God, but not everyone follows God. And so us as Christians, we shouldn't be so gummy bear-like. We shouldn't be so loose. We need to be more strict. The American Christians need to be more strict on the entertainment. They need to be more strict about what you're receiving and about what you're putting in front of your face, about what you're consuming. Because if you're consuming something that's inappropriate, if you're consuming something that's bad, that's impure, it's going to taint your spirit. I don't think people are understanding me. If you watch somebody, let's say you watch pornography and you're just watching that, you understand you're receiving that perversion, that lust through your eyes, and that's going to change your brain waves, not only physically but spiritually. It's going to harm you. It's going to completely bind you. Let me also tell you something. Don't get distracted in the internet. Don't get distracted. It's basically there to give you a false message, to entertain you, or just to distract you. I had to realize myself that the devil will use that to get you, to distract you as a Christian, so that you won't pray, so that you won't have that covenant with the Holy Spirit. I want you guys to understand that there's nothing more important in this world than the relationship with the Holy Spirit. If we look at the Apostle Paul, and I'm going to put the verse up, and I'm just paraphrasing heavily, but it basically says, I'm going to give up everything for Christ because I realize nothing in this world is worth having. And the more I mature and I grow, not just physically, but in my walk with Jesus, I realize that it's really like that. There's nothing worth holding on to in this world. Everything in this world is trash. Everything in this world, not everything, but a lot of things are a byproduct of the enemy trying to attack the Christians, trying to attack the Church of God, and not just that, trying to attack our minds. So there's a lot of perversity, there's a lot of lust, there's a lot of hate, inappropriate things I'm seeing on the internet. They can't even scroll 2-3 times without seeing somebody being perverse, without seeing body parts that I don't want to see, without somebody making a rated R joke. It's even getting to a point where people are showing excess body parts, showing parts of their body that they shouldn't be showing, are outlining something for a joke because it's comedy. People need to be more careful about what they're looking into. And I know everybody loves social media, and I know everybody sees it as a way of life, and inject it into your mind that you should go ahead and watch and you should go ahead and partake because everybody else is doing it. Let me just let you guys know, the path to the kingdom of heaven is very small, and the path to hell is big and great. So just because there's a lot of people taking that bigger path, does that mean you should do the same? You guys to understand that a lot of these things, it's not going to get you to heaven. Think about it. It is more beneficial not only to your relationship with Christ, but in your spirit, your soul. For you, it is more beneficial to only watch things that are going to benefit you compared to watch things that are going to distract you and that are even going to implement these false narratives, these false tainting, corrupt things in you. And am I saying don't do entertainment whatsoever? I'm saying to be very careful with what you're taking in. If there's too much swearing, if there's too much cursing, if there's too much perversity, if there's too much bloodshed, and if there's horror, if you're realizing these certain things that you shouldn't be watching, if you're realizing there's these certain content creators that you should not be watching because they're just promoting a lot of lust, you need to realize it and go, you know what? At the end of the day, I can live without this. At the end of the day, I don't need to sacrifice my discernment. I don't need to sacrifice my purity. I don't need to sacrifice the relationship and the already holiness that I'm trying to practice within myself for the sake of entertainment, for the sake of a dirty piece, tainted piece of entertainment, just for the fact that I can feel satisfied that I've watched something that's made me laugh. It's not worth that. It really isn't. We just need to be wise. Just because somebody says they believe in God doesn't mean that they follow God, and doesn't mean you should watch them. The American Christians lack a spiritual prayer life. They lack a point where they receive information and they take it and then they just go off with it. And there's no prayer, there's no intercessions, there's no guidance of the Holy Spirit. I realize a lot of people in America aren't as spiritual as they should be, and that's why they fall victim to a lot of these things. Just wanted you guys to understand that. God bless you guys.